Are you ready to get started?
Yes, it's fine.
All right.
Thank you.
So go ahead and introduce the presenter.
Hi, everybody. This is Hongli Fan, and I'm going to introduce the next presenter. So next we have Professor CJ Milable, and she's going to tell us about an experiment she did in Vietnam. And the title of her presentation is The Exquisiteness of Extensive Reading to Minh Duc Secondary School Students. And this session will be recorded. So if you're not comfortable with yourself being recorded in this video, please stop your video. So Professor C.G. Milable, the screen's yours.
Thank you very much, Holy Fan, for that welcoming introduction. So good evening, everyone. It is 6:30 here in Vietnam, particularly in Hochiminh City. I am so honored to be presenting in this Aero 2022. So tonight I will be sharing to you the experiment that I have done with my secondary students. It's entitled The Exquisiteness of Extensive Reading to Minh Duc Secondary Students. What can extensive reading do to Minh Duc Secondary School? It has been said that extensive reading enhances the vocabulary of every learner, and thus students learn a lot from thousands of lexical word patterns, and they are not taught most often in our textbook, but it could be achieved through extensive reading. Now, in this experiment, the methodology, the study was conducted in an EFL context that was supposed to be, would give light to the exposure of students in extensive reading. So few of the language teachers in that school where I work this year, they have this knowledge of extensive reading, but then they don't really practice that. And some of the students as well, maybe out of the 250 students that I have handled, 10% of these students, they have this knowledge of extensive reading, as they were trained also in some of the language centers that we have here in Vietnam. So they have this knowledge also of how to read really well, especially when we tested their fluency in English. It's really good. And this study is set out to answer some of the questions that we have, particularly in extensive reading. And these questions really improve their reading performance in the set time that we have given them. So this includes their reading speed, their accuracy, and even their reading comprehension. The participants are grade 11 students who are taking classes at Minh Duc Secondary School. And most of the students, they are around 16 to 18 years old. And they have considerable English background since when they were young, they've studied English in some of the language centers that we have in Vietnam. And in these studies, I have asked 33 students to participate with their parents' permission. At the same time, we have asked some permission from the principal of the school and with their teachers as well. So these 33 students were divided into 3 categories. So we've set categories like beginner level, elementary, and intermediate level. During this experiment, we used the timetable of Minh Duc Secondary School. The time frame that was given to me as their teacher is around 90 minutes, 3 times a week. So it means that every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we have to study for 90 minutes. So these 33 students have to do the extensive reading with me for the span of 90 minutes, 3 times a week. The principal was very excited when I proposed to him about extensive reading. But some teachers were really hesitant as they don't know how to do it. But thankfully, because some teachers there, the language teachers, they were really happy that extensive reading will finally commence in the school. So they really supported me in this experiment. So we conducted a test and we tested the students for 3 months. And we have used the 4 skills in English to do this. We all know these skills, the speaking, reading, listening, and writing. So the results that we have gathered and the interview that we have done showed that the students have previously experienced extensive reading, though not as maybe as heavy as others, but then they have experienced a bit of that. Now, the materials that was used in weighing the scale, their levels here is actually, there's a site that I have used. It's called superteacherworksheet.com. In this site, we can see a lot of reading materials, and they are reading comprehension materials, and they also have their levels. So I've used this for their pre-test, and then since there are 3 levels, the beginner level, they have to read the 300 words. The elementary level, they have to do the 600 words. And the intermediate level, they have to do the 1,200 words. Thankfully, there were no problems in understanding of the text within these 33 participants, as we really we were really very honest in conducting the test. So some of them, they were complaining because they thought they would belong to the intermediate level. However, they fall on the beginner level. So I did everything in a black and white because I don't want to create trouble in the future when it comes to like the leveling. So some, they've done it without knowing the name of the students, without showing that. But we've shown this for the sake of it would somewhat like serve as a history of the school. So the principal agreed, and he was actually asking me to really release their names and put their levels. So the students were also okay with that, though some were really want to be in the intermediate level. When it comes to the reading materials, we have used the site www.magickeys.com, since they have different levels of books. And one of the reasons of this as well is because these students, even though they are rich, but they don't want to waste time, money for buying books. So I have suggested a lot of books that I have collected from the previous years that I have used with other schools. But then when I told them you need to buy this, they said, sorry, teacher, my mom won't agree. So because of that, I have decided to ask support through the reading online site. This is magickeys.com. So in this site, as I mentioned earlier, they have books for young children. They also have books for older children and books for young adults. And these students, they were able to read a lot of books here. And not only that they have recorded also the reading. So that is to test their fluency. At the same time, I have given them some worksheets where they could write on what they have understood after reading. And then they have to put it's like a worksheet that they can write the title of the book, other information such as the name of the author, the genre, the pages that they have read, and the time that they read the entirety of the book. So it means that they will be reading first, second, and third. There will be reading of 3 times until they could finally reach the final reading. So while they're reading, they have to time themselves. And when it comes to the procedure, first of all, as I mentioned, I have asked permission from the principal. So he supported this experiment. And then most of the language teachers in that school, they also helped me with the quest of extensive reading, which is 90 minutes of the class we have to spend for the pre-test together. There were 33 students, and it's very clear that they were very excited for the ER program, even though it's just for a short time, which is 3 months. At the end of the treatment, we've given a lot of recommendations to these 33 students. Before this experiment was conducted, they were very excited because most Vietnamese students in that school, they're really eager to learn things in English. So they want to master their 4 skills. They want to, if they're good in speaking, they should also be good in reading, writing, and listening. So they want, like, how do you say? They want to be known as somebody. So when I said who wants to participate, I gave them the forms. They were all very excited. Even though the rest were not that excited because they have to spend a few hours of their time in a week with me, especially during break time, because I do the follow-ups during break time. So even though there are a lot of them, I still have to, how do you say, focus. And there are a lot of mishaps that happened along the way while we're doing the extensive reading, while we are doing the follow-ups because of the weather condition. And then until now, we still have the COVID restrictions. So some meetings in the coffee shop could not accommodate a lot of students. So we have to keep changing the place. And luckily, the school doesn't have enough place where we could do the extensive reading. We don't have that library at the moment where students can really sit and just read plenty of books. We have books, but then it's all in Vietnamese. So first, the participants were divided into 3 groups, as I mentioned earlier. I have this lead teacher in every class. So they helped me a lot. They have assisted me. And after that, I've given them 7 questions that they need to answer, particularly after they have finished reading the first book. So they have 3 books in a week. On Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, they have to collect each book, supposedly. But then it's done online, so they have to choose among the list that I have given them which topic or which title of the book they want to read. And I have to record everything so that it won't overlap. Then after that, after they have answered the questions, they have to do the peer check first. And then I have to give out the answers. So it's funny because, these teenagers, sometimes they love to bully. So if one student can do really bad, some can get 5 because it's a competition most often in that school. So some could get 5, others could get a perfect score. They would say, oh, you did not read well. Oh, you did not do your reading. So things like that, it happens along the process. So each group were given materials to read for 3 months. And after 3 months, I've conducted an interview with them along with my lead teachers to really check if they have improved their levels. So in the interview, the participants were asked to talk about issues regarding their reading every week. On the first month, it was fun because they have a lot of complaints. The second month, it was more on compliments. And the third month, it was more on I need more. But then our school closed because they have to move to the university. So in this experiment, I have collected a lot of things that I could say it's potential enough to share to the next students after them. So we will be opening the class next month, and because of the effect, the results that we have collected and the principal have seen and the language teachers have seen in that school, they are requesting that we could do more in the coming semester. So some days during the week, let's say Tuesday and Thursday and Saturday, since we don't do the ER on that time, I have to use that for follow-up to check if they are really progressing. and to check if they're really reading the assigned task. And also I require them to give a summary of the book that they have read. And fortunately, all of them, they were able to give me the summary. And it's fun to see them improving, and day after day, you can see their reports. It's getting longer from one paragraph. It could reach now to 5 paragraphs. So it's more on like really sitting on them while you're doing the extensive reading. And it's really fun if it's face-to-face than just online. So to make sure that the students are reading the stories, we have to do the test, the reading test. So in this reading test, every 3 words would be equivalent to 1 second. So let's say there are 600 words for elementary level. Then this will be divided into 3. And then it should be around 200 minutes or 200, 200 seconds, not minutes, sorry. 200 seconds or 3 minutes and 33 seconds. So to reach that certain time, as per word count, they have to do it thrice. So before checking the final reading, they have to practice. And how do they do this? They have to practice with their friends among the groups that I have designated them. So I have seen that at the end of 3 months, it yielded beautiful results. And most of the results are really good, especially like their comprehension level have increased, and they have written really a good, it's like their scripts are really long now, and the way they talk is already commendable in just 3 months. For me, it's a bit burdensome as I have to take care of 5 other classes while doing the extensive reading program with these 33 students. But then thankfully, I have these language teachers who were there with me, who supported me along the way, especially the principal. So the result of this extensive reading, that very short time that I had with them, is that the principal requested for an ER program to be included in the upcoming semester or upcoming school year. So we will be opening the school year next month. So hopefully in school year 2022 to 2023, we could include extensive reading as part of the program of the English department of that school. So some materials, sample materials that I have used with my students are here, and they're really helpful. A lot of materials online that I have collected with Aero friends last year and the previous year. They have shared with me, so I have used that with my students as well. So some of the visible results of this ER is that students got 7.5 in IELTS. They have taken tests after the school ends, like say the school year ends last May. So it's really a joy, like, you're just doing the ER, but then it yielded different results in the lives of the students. So thank you so much for listening to